Hello everyone, welcome back to our quick start series on the A10-CII, where today we're going to be looking at GPS guided bombs. And in particular, I'm going to be demonstrating this with the JDAM bunker buster, but the employment is very similar for all of the GPS type guided bombs. So I'll be going for the GBU-31 on a bunker buster mission. As always, the link to this particular training mission is down in the description if you want to follow along. And so we're starting this one, JDAM 3 bunker buster. Okay, and first things first, let's pause up and we can put in our settings into our JDAM. So to do that, we want to go down here to the DSMS page. You can see we are loaded with 6 GBU-31s. They're these very big boys on the corners. And we want to go to the profile menu, scroll down to GBU-31 and view profile. There isn't really much that we need to do here. These really can only be dropped with CCRP mode, and that's absolutely fine, that's what we want here. Now, here we do have some other settings in the advanced settings area. You can worry about impact azimuth, impact angle if you really want to. But for the most part here we've got this waypoint ID tag, and by default that is set to SPI. That is exactly what we want here. This is the main way you're going to be employing these. We may look in a later session about how to employ a specific waypoint here in order to drop multiple bombs at the same time. For now, the fact that that's on SPI is fine. That means that the weapons, when they release, will automatically be homing in whatever your current SPI is. So we can just go back to the status page here, and we see that's set up. So now we need to designate our SPI and find our targets. So very similar to the laser guided tutorial, the first part of this is going to be finding the general area that you want to hit your target in. And on this mission, that is always going to be on waypoint 1. So with the HUD set to SOI, which we can see here with the asterisks, we just push up on the data management switch to select waypoint 1 mission 00, and we can see there we've got the area boxed in. That is our waypoint. Now if we go down to our TGP, we can get a better line of sight here. So turn that on to air to ground mode and then press purely right long command to box in the TGP as your current SOI, and then we can scroll around, moving the little diamond on the HUD. Now you can manually move this to the point, so we could move this manually so the diamond is overlaying with the box. As we saw last time, a much easier way is to slew all sensors to your current SPI, and we can do that with the China hat forward long command. Now all active sensors are on our SPI, and the SPI by default is going to be set to your steer point, in this case waypoint 1. By the way, we can now take a bit of a closer look to the target area, so I'm going to press China hat forward short command to zoom in, and I'm going to change to one of the other camera modes, in this case white hot. As before, I can just adjust the gain to get a better picture and press data management switch up long command to zoom in. So we can see here we've got a nice little bunker in the center flanked by 2 targets. Now whenever you're using the GPS guided bombs, you always want to be aiming at a static target. They do not auto update, and so you're going to have a really hard time hitting anything moving. These are fantastic for anything stationary, like our vehicles here, any buildings or any bridges. So the first thing I want to do then is set this current point to my SPI. So to do that, with the TGP selected, I press the target management switch up long command, and that is going to assign the TGP's line of sight as my SPI. So now we just need to arm our weapons. Got master arm on, So we can either select our weapons by clicking on the DSMS page to select a certain weapon in particular, or we can use the HOTAS controls. If we go coolie up short command, we will set the HUD to SOI, see our little asterisks, and then we can push data management switch left or right to select the weapon profile. So here we can see we've got GBU-31 selected. We've got our CCRP display here. And this is a little bit different from the laser guided display. In terms of symbology, we still have the vertical bar, and we want to fly the plane to put our current direction here over the vertical bar and hold that there. But now, instead of the range indicator that we had previously with the pipper and the falling number, over here we've got the range data on the far left hand side of the HUD. This comes in the form of two different sections. At the top here we've got a marker which is our nautical miles to the drop zone, and we've got this little box here. This is our allowed release area. As we get closer, this will expand to become larger, and this little chevron marker will start to descend down this side. When this is between the top and the bottom of the box, you are within allowed weapon release conditions. Ideally, you want to be midway on the box to allow yourself a little wiggle room, but technically you can drop as soon as you enter the box, and anywhere before the marker leaves the bottom of the box. We also have this useful little timer down here. This is right now displaying the time until we are at weapon release, so at our current speed we are 1 minute 42 seconds. Remember, we're paused right now. So all we need to do is fly the plane, keep this on the marker. When we get within valid range, press and hold weapon release. We'll see one of the stations disappearing here, and then we can just fly evasive. These are fire and forget weapons, so as soon as they're released you can go full evasive, you can pick a different target, really doesn't matter. You are free to do what you want to do. So with everything set up, let's go in for a demonstration. So I'm going to unpause, and then I can just keep this in level flight, keeping my velocity indicator aligned with that vertical post as best I can, and watching the range indicator on the left hand side along with the time to weapon release counter ticking down. Okay, so now we can see as we're approaching the target, the marker has expanded. We're now about 15 seconds away from weapon release. We just let the marker fall down until it's within the boxed area. There we go, we're now in release range, and so I can press and hold the weapon release button. You can see one of the stations has dropped. The timer up there and down on the TGP are now both the weapon time to impact. And so we can just watch that, don't actually have to keep an eye on it. There we go. Nice direct hit, along with several nearby vehicles destroyed. Otherwise, there really isn't much else about these CCRP delivered GPS guided weapons, so we can just go in again, drop our munition, and then if we want to we can completely turn off the sight, go completely evasive. These are perfectly fire and forget weapons. The only thing to bear in mind is as soon as the weapon is dropped, it will not receive any further updates from the TGP, and so there is no way to hit moving targets, and there's no way to abort once you've dropped. Otherwise, if you have any questions, please leave them down below. If you found this video useful, do consider leaving a like and or subscribing to the channel. And otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, be kind to yourself and everyone else. Cheers!